Yo.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. As you know, it's your girl, Cravin Cowboys. And as you guys can see, I got a very special guest on with me this evening, Law Nation Sports. Before we get started, Law Nation, let everybody know. I mean, I'm sure everybody already knows, who you are, but
Yeah.
spending your time with us, with me, and everybody else in the chat this evening. And of course, let everybody know who you are and who you are.
Most certainly my name, and we talk cowboy football and beyond. That's including the ice wall, and it's good to be here out here in Cali. It's great to see these players grow from one week to the next. Being able to see that process is everything. And on top of that, like I say, I'm gonna say this a million times over. You have the best YouTube name and content creator name out there, because everybody that's here is absolutely craving Cowboys.
Yeah, you did tell me that the first time, first time we met. I told you where I got my name from. So I'm happy to hear that. Everybody joining us this evening. As everybody been saying in the chat, definitely late night. I'm thinking about my people over there on the East Coast. Because I'm originally from the East Coast, so I know over there it's just about midnight or so. So I appreciate everybody joining us. Before we get started, hit the like button, hit the share button.
Automatic
hit the button. I'm just under 300 subscribers actually, so I'm just trying to grow my content, get my voice out there. I'm really just starting out. This is my second year doing content, so I really appreciate you guys to help me out a little bit. But
yes, indeed. Let's get you to 1,000. Get the thou wow going by the time
Yeah.
you leave out of Oxnard. So you guys can do me a huge favor. Go to Craven Cowboys page and subscribe there. And put CC in the chat once you did that, and let's do this. Let's go. Put CC in the chat. And when is your last day here?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. So we're gonna get something from y'all support, and put your Cash App up there. From y'all support, we're gonna get something from the shop, and we're gonna try to get it signed from all of those players, and we'll see if any lucky subscriber of Craven Cowboys can get that merchandise or that artification. You know how it goes. Let's get it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. As I know, as my Cash App is right here in the I don't know if you guys see it right next to my name. Next to my name is Mickey, but I go by Craven. $ MP Cox 90, and I really appreciate that. Make sure you guys look at YouTube, Instagram, X as well / Twitter. Whatever you guys are calling it these days. At Craving Cowboys. Now, like I said, it's my second year, man. Just really starting out, and Facebook as well. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I really just dumped on here. What's up, Sadiq? Everybody in the chat, really,
Sadiq, yeah.
But yeah, I just really want to jump on here. Of course, practice the last couple of days instead of just me trying to force a show yesterday. And I was like, you know what? Let me just wait till the weekend until I can kind of get through most of my clips. I wasn't able to go through, of course, with a fine tooth comb, but I was able to kind of get some clips uploaded. And I really just wanted to, really share with you guys because, just been kind of taking a closer look at, kind of the center position. Also, one of my favorite groups, the tight ends, and of course the linebackers. They really had a really good practice today, Law. Not just the linebackers, but what other groups really caught your eye today in practice?
Well, I was going to jump on the linebacking group. Always the defensive back group is showing up and showing out. I think that Al Harris got a unique tone to these particular players, especially Carson's number 41. He's not afraid to come down and hit. He's one of those guys that can cover a blade line. Every blade of grass is accountable for when he's out there on the field. So I like him. Also, there are other guys that's been showing up to a degree. Nashawn Wright stayed level-headed and grounded. It's a good contract year for him, so he got to show us something. And Deron Bland, oh my goodness, that guy, far as the plan to cover every blade of grass himself, we can't wait to see going into his this is his third season now, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Time moves fast and quickly over here in Cowboys land. Look at all of those CCs in the chat, baby. Put CCs in the chat. Craving Cowboys. Yes, let's go. Let's get it.
Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody. I really do appreciate you guys. Appreciate that, you guys. But yeah, like Law was saying, the linebackers really stepping up. Unfortunately, Kendrick's right now dealing with a back issue, but they say it's nothing too serious. But seeing these other
Right.
veterans step up, seeing Damian Wilson, that's
Hmm.
the other guy who really caught my eye. I know he was here before, but seeing him kind of come back, coming back into his own, showing that he can still make a name for himself here as well. And also the newer guys that they signed, the new defensive edges that they signed up within the past week or so.
Right.
I know, I think it's Muhammad and Shaka
Muhammad,
Tony, I believe. I mean,
Shaka Tony, Lil
yeah,
Tony.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they're definitely showing their physicality. I know they're making some gains in practice these last couple of days, so it's good to see that these guys. I mean, even guys that are just newly signed, freshly signed, can come in and still contribute to that competition
Right.
aspect. Because I mean, we know these guys are already competing with each other, but to bring in even more, to bring in even more blood, it's just going to make these guys even more hungry.
Yes, indeed. Hungry indeed. When we start to talk about number 55, double nickel, that's Willie Harvey Jr.
Yeah, yeah,
And he is a guy that made some crazy good plays in the hook area, and he's not afraid to come down and field. You mentioned Damian Wilson, number 45. What we're seeing with our natural eyes is organic stuff. Like, this is what, organically speaking, what linebackers supposed
right.
to do. They supposed to fit holes. If they see B gap, shoot through it. Don't just wait there. And if they supposed to go through A gap, do it. They say with linebackers, slow until you know, right?
Mhm.
But at some point last year, I was banging on the table for those who follow the channel. I was saying, at some point, you got to know when to field. You got to have that instinct. You got to have that mindset to bust through some rub stuff, right? I'm trying to
Right.
keep it PG-13
Yeah.
and come down and feel. So,
Yeah.
and we are seeing it out of Damian. We are definitely seeing it out of 55. He can
Yeah.
cover plus hit, and I would be remiss if I don't add in number 13 because he's mean, and that is Overshown.
Look.
Don't overlook Overshown, y'all.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No facts.
Mhm.
Overshowing actually another guy that impressed me today, who's going to his third
Right.
year, Damone Clark. He really showed up today, like really seeking out the ball. Really closing in on the gaps. Really, honestly, I mean, we saw early in the practice Overshown, like
Right.
you mentioned. I bring up one of the clips from yesterday. Overshown is getting some work in. With Scott McCurley, really just learning, gap integrity, really getting to really getting those mental reps in. I mean, we know
Correct.
he's coming back from an injury, so we don't really want to rush him, but it's still good to get a mental picture of, as you guys can see here, we have the offensive line, I guess represented by the trash cans, the D line represented by the mat. So just and even not having to be physical, he can still stand.
Right.
McCurley is still giving him instruction. I believe that's Solari on the other side. I think representing a tight end, I believe so. I'm not 100% sure. And I think in the
Yeah.
scenario, McCurley is representing a running back. So he's just talking them through the scenario. As you can see, Overshown, taking the instruction, and McCurley kind of stepping up. So it's just good to see that although he's not, these guys may not always be with the main group. Like we see Diggs off to the side, we see
Right.
Hendricks off to the side, but it's good that these guys are still getting those mental reps in, still getting the instruction that they may not get, all the time from the coaches. So it's just good to see that, and also just willing that he's not, slouch about it. He's not,
Right.
sometimes guys may not like the slow pace, but we know Overshown is itching to play, but we also just see the type of player that he is, and
Right.
he's actually growing into. He's showing that really the mentality that it takes to really play that position.
Yeah, it takes a lot because the linebackers are the quarterback of the defense. And when you look at the other picture, the other guy that was in that frame was Darian Thompson, But
Yeah,
but what most of you guys got to know is that these guys are being guided now. Paul Gunter, he is the guy that brings in wisdom and understanding of the game, even though he wasn't in that clip. But when they all line up together, Paul Gunter's oversees Scott McCurley's and the Darian Thompsons of the worlds, because
yeah,
I think that these guys, they have good intentions. And shout out to my grandmother, may she rest in peace. But she say all the time, man, there's people in hell with good intentions, right?
right.
So your intentions may be good, but do you know what you're supposed to know in a situation? So
Right.
now that you got wisdom and understanding from Paul Gunter, it's not an element of surprise that these boys are playing differently. So I do
Yeah.
like the mindset of slowly integrating, my guy number 13 into the mix, and that's Overshown, by the way. Keep putting CCs in the chat, man. I like seeing that, though, by the way. Keep putting them CCs in there. So I like seeing this. Come on, Cowboy Nation. So that's the linebacker group, and you was right
Yeah.
there. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. This is the linebacker group as well, and this shot is actually from today. So
Uh-huh.
it's like still getting that physicality, and we see them working both sides. One group off to one side, the other group off to the other. We see Clark, we see,
Correct. Correct.
I believe Brock Mogensen is a linebacker, I believe. I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name, but we see Maris as well up here with Damian Wilson, Willie Harvey. That's the
Yeah.
gentleman right here. Forgive me
Yeah.
for if it's cut off for you guys, but yeah. So we just see them working together, just really practicing coming off the line. Just really, really, really just exhibiting that power it takes to really kind of knock the other guy off knock the other guy off his heels. Because you don't want to be the guy knocked off his heels. And we saw last season, last year, of course, we saw Marquise Bell and Damone Clark, but it wasn't really encouraging, seeing them that they couldn't get off blocks from linemen. So it's just good to see that these guys are just putting in the work, kind of just building up, kind of ramping themselves up to be able to take on some of these bigger bodies that they may see, headed onto the season.
Most certainly. So when you look at this drill, you want to keep the hands inside, and what we call it scrape, shed, disengage, and get upfield. And you got to have linebackers that's willing to scrape. You got to have linebackers that's willing to disengage and get upfield and engagement. You got to sometimes take on those blockers. When it's a 300-pound
Right.
lineman coming at you, you can't always avoid responsibility as linebackers. You are the second level of the defense that you got to come down and you got to engage. And then you
Yeah.
got to rip and get off, and then you got to get up there to make that tackle. So many times we've seen last season when you had a guy that's 205 pounds, you may do it once or twice, right?
Right.
But on
Right.
that third time, you're like, look, man, I'm 205, coach.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
205. You want me to come down and fill? I'm on fourth side. You want me to do that again? Come on,
Right.
And then you
Right.
start taking less and lower,
Yeah.
because when at 330 or 320, trust me, I make business decisions. I play DB, so I'm
Yeah.
going at the knees. I'm going
Right.
that I'm gonna be out of if I miss, or even if I engage, I can't go get the runner. So that's why
Right.
these drills are very important. I think that these linebackers here, they have a different mindset, ladies and gentlemen. So they
Yeah.
will scrape,
Yeah.
disengage, shed their blocks, and get upfield. I like seeing that.
Yeah, and one point that I've seen, come up in the chat just a couple times, like, Damone Clark really just mentioned, shout out to Patrick No C Walker.
Yeah.
He wrote the article talking about how Damone Clark is now getting, receiving mentorship from Sean Lee. And we've been kind of screaming that. We were screaming that last year, right, Law? Talking about
Right.
getting a veteran mindset after LVU went down into the linebacker room. So to hear that they were able to exchange numbers, and that I mean, we know what kind of the mindset that Sean Lee played with. I mean, we're
Right.
still missing it to this day. So to see that it could have an effect, on Clark's game, and he could pass it along to other guys in the room. I mean, he said
Right.
he name dropped, Leofow being one of them ones that he thinks that could really step up, in the upcoming year. So I mean, I'm sure he has no problem passing along to him, passing along to Overshown. He spoke about kind of being a mentor to him, coming back from his injury as well. So
Right.
sure, I mean, I'm sure not right. I'm sure not right away, but I'm sure as time goes on, he could get those guys in the same mindset, just like Dak, takes along guys under his wing and gives them advice. He brings in I think it's called the OBX group, the O2 group, the O2 group, the one
wow.
that they with in the
Oh, I
offseason.
don't know. I don't know. I don't know the name of the group, but whatever the group is.
The one that Dak and McCarthy brought in to work with the guys for high pressure situations. They just worked with them in this past off season. But I forget the group though. But like I was saying, it's good to see that Damone Clark is willing to take that leadership position and really speak to the younger guys in the room.
Here's what I like about Damone. He watches the show. He's a friend of the show. So I know for sure now he may see, okay, Cravin Cowboys. So my second day out there, and I was in the other side of the field, he seeked me out and he found me. You know what I'm saying? And he said, he found me and he said, yeah, I'm just letting you guys know I'm not going to let you down this season, right? And I told him, I said, me and Okoye, we got a stake on the line. I'm telling you that I want that steak, and it's a tomahawk steak, by the way. So he said, "Don't worry, I will not let you guys down." He's been working out tremendously. He's
Yeah.
one of those boys that's working from the mindset of, "Hey, I used to be a captain at LSU. I'm one of those guys. I got my number back now. I'm
Yeah.
18, and I'm gonna show y'all that
Right.
it's gonna
I
be
mean,
a real deal situation for me." Yeah,
yeah, and we see that confidence skyrocket. The same thing with Tolbert. I mean, he's right back
yeah,
to his number one. So I mean, that like you mentioned with the number change. I mean,
right.
it could really do something for these guys' confidence. And I think
Hmm.
Lamar says O2X. I think that's the name of the group, O2X. Thank you.
O
I
O
appreciate that.
two X.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. I
Shout out to
appreciate
you. Shout
that.
out to
Yeah.
you.
But let me go ahead and
Uh-huh.
go to these next group of clippings. Let me see. After Clark.
And appreciate everybody, man, for y'all support. Do us a huge favor. Hit the like, share this content. Come on, let's go.
Yes,
Cravin
yes.
Cowboys, CC's in the house, man. CCL. Look, they putting all type of abbreviations. Be sure to subscribe though, because we're trying to get her to 1,000. She said, "What you wanted about 300-400? We looking for 1,000 subscribers. I know it can be possible. We're gonna manifestations. We're gonna put that out there for the nation. But let's go."
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. But yeah, this next clip is going to be actually had a clip of Cooper Beebe. Really, just
Hmm.
like I said, the last couple of days, looking at the center competition. I mean, we've been hearing about Brock Hoffman kind of having the spot really sealed up. At least for the ones. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's understandable. I mean, we see Brock has the experience. He had game reps just last season, so it's not really a surprise. And just kind of watching some of the coach interviews, watching Solari kind of speak about, he said directly that Hoffman, wasn't going to be overlooked, that he wants to give him a fair shot. And Hoffman himself is taking it serious. I don't know if you guys have been watching his podcast, but I mean, it was back in the off season, but he gave an interview with Wanye Thomas, and he spoke
Right.
about being on the Browns practice squad, and he felt like
Hmm.
he felt like he was kind of shunned out. I think he mentioned, I forget the exact player that they picked up, but they I think
Right.
after someone younger and end up taking his spot. So he felt like that he really didn't really get a fair shake in Cleveland. So I think this time around that, not saying it could be his last shot, but hey, if they're gonna give you a shot with the ones, first of all, I mean,
Right.
you're in a series, that's the opportunity you don't get every day. But this is the fact that that they're looking at it as potentially your position. I mean, they drafted someone else to give you competition, but they're looking at you to be the starter. So I think him having kind of the coaching staff kind of behind him a little bit, and just having that fire underneath him, and really, I mean, having the techniques down. I mean, we see that he's stout at the line. We saw last year he was mauling guys, finishing blocks, finishing tackles, getting out there to the second level. So I just think he has. He kind of really went into the competition with just a different mindset, knowing that he wants it to be his. And it's like I said, it could very easily be Cooper Beebe's at the start of the season. But I think with Hoffman's experience and just his mentality about this position and this battle, I think it. I think
Right.
it. I think he could, be the starter, and maybe they could see about maybe by the bye week, or maybe just how well Cooper does in practice, depending, because he's taken center snaps in practice before,
Right.
so he could definitely elevate, in that time between the start of the season and as time goes on.
Yeah. The whole ideology is not to just fold up and lay down, right? You want to fall, but fall still fighting if you are falling. And I always say this, y'all know who follow the channel. If you fall, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up, right? So
Right.
Brock Hoffman is looking at this situation saying, "Oh, you counted me out? You J. Cole and me? You counted me out? You middle child and me? That's okay,
Right.
but watch this. And that's what he's playing in his mind. You counted
Yeah.
me out. You counted me out.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that iron, they're sharpened iron, and that steel, they're sharpened steel. He's trying to say to everybody that I belong here, and I'm not finna just give this spot and this duty away to the new guy, Cooper Beebe. So when you look out there, you're seeing a guy that plays through the echoes of the whistle. You're seeing someone who's trying to stand tall or not at all. And you're seeing those things out of Brock Hoffman. Is he physically as strong as Cooper Beebe? I don't think so. But he's more seasoned than BB right now.
Right.
So that's why he's saying, give it for what you can say. I'm more seasoned. He's not. He may be the prettier one, but I'm going to be ugly and nasty, and I'm going to get it out of the mud. Ugly is the way,
Right.
but ugly is deadly. Come
Oh
on,
my
baby.
God.
Come on. Yeah,
Oh
come
my
on,
God.
CC. Come on, CC. Are you with me? Come on. Hey,
But yeah.
hey, they're asking what's your page
Oh,
title
oh, my
name?
YouTube page. Oh
Your
yeah, it's
link. Let me
yeah,
see if I can link it and put it in the chat right quick. Hold on. Keep
yeah,
keep talking.
yeah,
I'm gonna try
yeah,
to
yeah.
link
It's
the
at
channel.
Cravin Cowboys.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
on our platforms. But yeah, like I mean, while we're talking about Cooper Beebe and Hoffman and the O line competition, I was able to
Right.
get some clips from today actually. I mean, outside the linebackers right here. Let me skip forward a little bit.
Okay.
I
Right.
mean, as we all know, the Cowboys always keep the O linemen like on the far side of the field. So forgive me guys if these clips are kind of far away, but hopefully
Right.
you guys should be able to get a good view of what these guys are doing. Really, like I said, I haven't been able to go over these with a fine tooth comb, but what we're going to do is just kind of look at some of these numbers on the back of these jerseys and see if we can kind of follow along with what
Mm-hmm.
some of these guys are doing. So it looks, of course, like I said, offensive line, defensive line. They're doing some trench work over here. I mean, you see Earl Bostic 64, Tyler Smith 73, 66 TJ Bass,
Right.
and I'm trying to see. I'm not sure who is at center right now, but it looks like Hoffman.
All right.
And
I'm
we
gonna
just
see. Give me 1 second here while I give
okay.
me 1 second. And I'm gonna put sub here. I want to see if they're gonna let me post it in the chat. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
This is important, y'all. Got to get this sub count up. I know. All right, and that's on. But dang, that's on your page. Hold on, give me 1 second to go. Keep going, keep going,
Oh, you
boy.
good? You good?
Yeah.
I mean, we're just looking at trench work right now, you guys. I mean, we see. I believe that's Muhammad, the defensive edge they brought in a couple days ago, going up against Earl Bostic on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
They have just Bostic taking some tackle reps, excuse me. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we see Muhammad with the bend. I think they said that Muhammad was going to be more of the power guy, serving more, as more of a replacement for Sam Williams. So I mean, it's only been a couple of days, but they said that these newer guys are making gains. So it's good to see. I mean, Earl Bostic, I'm not sure, what, his stance is as far as having a position, but definitely a depth guy.
Yeah, Bostic. He's definitely a depth guy.
Yeah,
Um, I think I've seen earlier that whoever 79 is, whether it's Josh Ball or Matt Let's go.
yeah, one of them. Yeah,
One of them boys, man, they ain't looking good. 75
right, right.
and 77 Ball or Let's go. They need to let go, and keep
Right.
moving.
ASAP, for real.
Yeah. And Earl,
Yeah,
to me too. You got a good footage of this right here. Let's see what's going on right here.
yeah,
Okay.
it looks like I think he said 65. Let me see. 'Cause I had the number sheet up in front of me. Let me see. 65 is going to be Dakota Shepley.
Okay,
So I mean,
Dak. Okay.
yeah, yeah, and Dak, Dak mentioned him in the offseason, being one of the guys he doesn't mind working with. But I mean, I will say this snappy contact right here was kind of low. It was kind of lofty a little bit, but I mean, I think he's with the third team
Oh yeah.
for the sake of the trench work. But we see that's just another battle between Muhammad and Bostic again.
Okay. You getting that leg bent back.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
quarterback.
that one. Yeah,
That
you
ain't
saw
good for
that.
the quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's Shepley again.
Yeah. When you get
I
walked
think that's
back,
Mozzie.
yeah, the quarterback pocket is a sanctuary.
Yeah,
That's where you want them to feel comfortable. No one should touch them and close combat from the pocket. And that's why you want quarterbacks to be able to climb the pocket and to get the ball out, because if they don't have a pocket there, then guess what?
Right.
It's over with. They bailing out, they pulling out, and it's just making such a crazy thing because you got edge rushers on the edge, so you want to feel comfortable. So that's why it's so good to have someone that can anchor down inside. And when you can walk back like that, that's not good for the quarterback.
Yeah, definitely that. But it's good to see that power from Mozzie. I mean, I know it's Dakota Shepley, but to see him have him back pretty much on his toes. I mean, he's really pushing through him. So hopefully,
Right.
we'll see if he can do the same. Stepping up, from the second team to the first team. But it's good to see that power. They say he's getting his power back.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we look at all of this, too, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. When we look at this, every rep count, because what you're trying to do is pick up tendencies and things that either the coaches are trying to tell you what to do, and then you're trying to pick up tendencies of what the interior guy is trying to do, whether he's trying to win with a bull rush, whether he's trying to win with half body, whether he's trying to knife and just disengage and get around and use hands. Is he a power guy, leg guy? Is his frame
Yeah.
too high? So those are things that you're looking for. And offensive linemen, they would talk about a lot of things, but it's all about keeping the opposition inside the cylinder. No wild arms, keep your hands and elbows inside, and then just obtaining and keeping things maintaining right inside. So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and I think in this rep right here, like you just mentioned, Josh Ball and Walesko, I think they have them here there at right tackle and right guard. Doing a combo block on Nealon, but we see Nealon kind of pushing both of them back if we take this for time. I believe it's Nealon. I couldn't see his full number, but the last number on the jersey was 4. So I think it's 94.
Now, right there, that 9'5", I think that's Daxon. Is Daxon 9'5", y'all?
Daxon is 9'5". Okay.
9'5" is Daxon. So, and 9'6" been trying to do his thing. And what was the other guy that I kind of look at earlier today? And I think I was on the other side, and it was 98. I think it was Carl Davis.
Oh, Davis. Yeah. And he was out. He was on the other side. I thought maybe he was out for something. He was on the other side working individual for a little
Carl
bit.
Davis. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if he was out or not.
But he was doing some few drills. Yeah.
It was good to see him come back in though. I was like, look, another guy on the side, like doing work, man. I don't want to see nobody else over there for real.
Nah.
But let me see. And one of these clips, and one guy who's actually been, me and Star have been talking about on our show every week, Junior Fehoko, and I really wanted him to kind of show like a spark, and I'm still looking forward to him to making some sort of spark this season. But honestly, like watching in practice today and yesterday, he seems to be, I don't know, he gets washed out, a couple times, and then he does. We do see him. I do still see him kind of with that power, and he is still able to kind of knock the O lineman back a little bit. But I still want to, because last season, during the preseason, I actually saw him. He was actually able to get to the pocket to the quarterback, and I just want to see a little bit more than that. I don't want to see just him kind of being fleshed out and then just running after the play. I want to see him just bring create pressure. You know what I'm saying? Just create that havoc. He kind of he wasn't creating a lot of havoc last week. He still was having some sort of effect on play. So I just still want to see him get back to that, because I know although this is only his second year, and with Sam Williams going down, he may have a little bit more slack now. But I really think that they're really turning the pressure up on him, because I think his name is one of the ones that came up as guys who absolutely had to step up. As the second year, they spoke about speaking to the second year guys. And even third year guys having to make a serious jump this season because of course the lack of moves in free agency, and really just for the sake of for the progression of the team, it's important for these guys to make a jump every year. So I definitely, just me personally, I really want to see a lot more from Fehoko, because he was really just one of the guys I'm really looking forward to this season.
Yes, a bull in a china shop is Fehoko. He had no necessary pass rush moves. But he had burst get off, and he can get upfield. But what to do with your hands on the next level is very important, right? And right now, Jeff Skinina, I think that's how you say that man's name. I've been butchering his name. Skinina. Just don't look at it. You just got to look at Zeke. But Skinina, he's not giving out free hall passes. Back way back in the days in elementary school, you get these hall passes, right? Yeah. You can just skip around. That coach ain't giving them out, so he chewing them out. And Skinina is one of those guys that's really coaching on the hard end, whereas those are things that we didn't see last year from Aiden Durde, or to a degree when Leon Lett was here teaching these boys. So I like the fact that Skinina is holding these boys accountable. He's chewing them out, and you see that extra pep in the step. If Fihoko, number 93. Cause that's how I grade players. I look at the numbers. If the numbers flash, I can remember the numbers, and then I can
Exactly.
say, "Hey, 93, or was it 72?" Gave me a little flash. He was the new
Right.
guy. So I would tell you this: he got some penetration, but it's still not enough. I'm
Exactly.
going to hold my reservations on everything until I see him in a preseason game.
Yeah.
But to me, he gave it 93 gave me some flashes, and he's
Yeah.
working his hands a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you on that. Like I mean, like you just said, and not just him.
Hmm.
Shout out to Chauncey Golson as well. I liked him.
Yeah,
Last season. He showed. I mean, he's another player who shows flashes here and there. But
right.
on the same token, the Cowboys haven't really found like a concrete role for him. And they like they like guys who can do several things, but they kind of switching between the playing three tech and switching back out to the outside. But it's just we want to see something. I just want to see something a little bit more solid from Golston, from Pahoko. I know they plan to use these guys in different manners, but I want to see more than just a spark here or there. I want to see these
Yeah,
guys actually have some have an impact on the play.
yeah. Here's the thing is with Chauncey, and he's been the poor man's what we had right here for a long time. Tyron Crawford, Tyrone Crawford.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, where you don't know whether to put them in the inside or you're gonna keep them on the outside. And now that we have injuries, that's gonna push them back to the outside.
yeah,
Just get a spot and stay there. And I truly believe what he's been working out with B Tuck all this off season is he got good hands. He got good pad levels. He got all of the techniques and the technical side of it is there.
yeah.
We just need results. We need good
Right,
results.
right.
you know, so
No,
so
I'm with you on
what
that.
are the results? Because he's been technically sound. He's been good with his pad levels, and I'm seeing he getting a little burst up field. So, and the first thing, coach, and shout out to Tuck, man, he's been working with these guys. The first thing he says is that what I like to do with it is feet. I work with my guys' feet. And if you don't think that my guy Tuck don't know what he's doing, look up Justin Matabuke, who we gonna see week 3, by the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm quite sure that if Chauncey, because people fail to realize this is a contract year for him as well,
Mm,
and we need him. We need
yeah,
him to stand tall with this if he's gonna get this new contract and keeping
yeah.
us, over here on the good side of rapport with Coach Tuck. But that's a whole
Yeah.
other conversation. Yeah,
Right, that's
yeah.
fact. And actually, shout out to this comment right here. He said, let's see the running back battle. Actually, I do have a few. I don't have
Okay.
clips. I don't have clips of all the running backs, but I do want to. I do kind of want to big up. Shout out to Malik Davis. Last
Yes.
couple, yeah, last couple of years, Malik. Just in my opinion, and I'm sure other fans have seen it, that I don't think he's gotten just a full fair shot in this offense. We even saw to the I believe it's the playoff
Right.
game 2 seasons, or what was it, last season when they played Tampa Bay, when Pollard got hurt. Just to not see them go to Malik. We saw Malik throughout the season, but it was just it was just sparks here and there, but it wasn't anything crazy. So we never actually knew what he could contribute. We see him on special teams. We see him, like I said,
Right.
maybe get 2 or 3 yard gains, every now and then. But so we still don't fully know what he can contribute. But seeing him, in these practices these last couple of days, he's definitely showing that he's not really
Yeah.
he's not playing. He's saying I'm not out this race. Y'all brought in Deuce. Y'all reconsider Rico again for another year. Which
Right.
is like no slight to Rico, but he stays hurt. You know what I'm saying? So what? I'm sure that even after Tony being gone, it's good that they brought him back. For the practice squad for the time being, and for him to be able to get another offseason underneath his belt. But and even me personally, I wasn't really giving Malik Davis, really that much,
Right.
time of day. You know what I'm saying? So to see him, having good practices, having a couple touchdowns here and there, having doing spin moves, still, showing that he still has, a little bit of burst. I'm trying to see if I can find my clips towards the end.
Yeah. Davis. If you pay attention to when he was out there on the field in 2022, I mean, he helped us out. He did a good job in that Green Bay game in 2022, although we still lost that game. And he did some serviceable jobs for us throughout that season. It's just that last season, 2023, he was placed in that doghouse and never got out. We was like,
Right.
David,
Right.
David, what David's at? But they were so gung ho on proving the point that Tony Pollard and Rico addition was the truth. And I can tell you, number 34, he flashed to me. He's a guy that can catch out of the backfield, run in between the splits. He's another guy that can crease the hole and got burst and acceleration. It's a 1-2 combination between who's better out of Rico and Malik Davis. But
Right.
I think that the thing that hindered Rico a little bit is injuries, right? War of
Hmm.
attrition
Hmm.
been plaguing him. But Malik, to me, if given the opportunity, can I just whisper it because I don't want to yell it out loud?
Yeah.
He may be the better back. Oops, I said that out loud, didn't I?
Right.
I like Malik Davis though.
Yeah.
Give him an
Yeah.
opportunity.
No, no, I definitely agree with you, Law, because we have to give all these guys a chance. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I will say, like I had the clip I have up here, one knock I will
Mhm.
say for Malik, and it kind of does go back to the last couple years. His pass pro definitely has to improve. I mean, I know he's a little bit on the smaller stature side, so maybe of course, some of these bigger guys may get the best of him. But I definitely want to see the pass pro definitely improve because I mean, we're going to need that. You know, having Dak. You know, if he's going to make the team and having Dak there in the pocket, it's going to be very important.
No doubt. And that's why you have Royce Freeman as well as my guy Ezekiel Elijah Elliott, who looks about 220, 225. You
Yeah,
can't say that Zeke is 230, 235 now. Yeah, he
right,
can see you can see his collarbone now sometimes out
right.
there. And
Yeah,
I said, man, he need a sandwich, man. Zeke need a sandwich, man. But I think Zeke is back to that shifty type of guy. Not saying he's
yeah,
2016 Zeke, but
right.
it's a situation that he's a guy that's a battering ram. When they did red zone drills, he was able to get up in there and score. And then Royce Freeman is another guy that can give you good blocking in the backfield. Him, Hunter
Right.
Lupke, as well as Princeton Fants, all of those boys.
Yeah, and Hunter, like what I love is that every now and then we'll see them kind of move Hunter up and down the line of scrimmage. Like he's
Right.
really giving me like Kyle Juszczyk. You know what I'm saying? Like what's the
Yeah.
guy? What's his
Yeah,
name
you
on
said it
the,
right. Kyle
yeah,
Juszczyk.
and Juszczyk, and also from the Saints, the guy they use. What's his name?
Uh-oh.
The Saints, the Swiss
Uh-oh.
Army knife they use. The guy, Taysom Hill. He
Oh,
some every now and then he runs up and down the line of
okay. Yeah. Okay.
they use him in different manners, and I just kind of get that vibe from Hunter Lucky a little bit. I mean, I saw him today. I don't know if I had the clip uploaded, but he made a great a great grab today. I think it was Trey Lance who threw. I think a kind of a dot down the field to Hunter Lucky, and he actually came down with the ball. So it's good to
Right.
see that they're still kind of implementing him in the offense, and I'm excited for him as well. He's one of the guys that I'm excited to see what how much further he progresses in this offense because they clearly like him. They clearly love him. They had plays plays kind of tailored for him last season. So it's just good to see that they're still same thing with Turpin. It's just some of these guys
Right.
I'm excited about in this particular before we well actually we're on the defensive side. We're going to kind of shift to the offensive side. Is anybody that kind of gives you some kind of special interest going into the season?
Well, just to touch up on Hunter Lupke, I was down on the side when they was doing the goal line installments, right? The
Okay.
jumbo sets, and they got some specialized packages. Whereas you remember Jumbo Joe Looney, and everything.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
not to be a spoiler alert guy, but spoiler alert, they putting TJ in there now. Pass as
As a,
the extra guy on
as
the
a goal
jumbo
line?
set at the goal line.
I
So
heard, I was hearing Bones every now and then
yeah,
saying,
yeah, you'll hear that. Yeah,
"Yeah,
TJ
I
number
heard it."
66 is
Okay,
eligible. Yeah, that's what they were
wow,
yelling. I hope I'm not
wow,
giving away all of the secrets here.
right, okay,
But
okay,
in that jumbo set, I kid you guys not, they had Zeke in the backfield. They had my guy 40 ounce, and
yes,
then they
yeah,
added TJ Bass to be your extra like third tight
okay,
end type of guy.
yeah, yeah, okay,
So 100% of the time they were scoring a touchdown. So I'm sitting here like, wait, the defense, or am I
Right.
overexcited about the offense? So
Yeah.
and they did the play. I think one time they gave it to Zeke, one time they gave it to 40 ounce, and I'm sitting here like, wow. And then
Wow.
when you heard the loud streams down there, I think they play action with it, and Trey was able to hit a guy on the flats. So
Okay.
that set up, hey, it's not
Yeah.
a push, it's not a push and a tush, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
But I would take a TJ or 40 ounce
Yes.
and Ezekiel Elliott with that cantankerous head. He just leaned forward. He's able to get that first down 100% of the time or touchdown. Let's go.
Look all day, and and speaking of Bass, kind of something coming as a tight end. They said that
Yeah.
Hunter Licky was actually getting some tight end reps, in practice. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we often see the Cowboys, take not favorites or anything like that, but guys that they like, right? We see them
Right.
show them attention, right? Hunter Lipke, John Stevens Jr., having plays for these
Oh, yeah.
guys.
Yeah. 81.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I'm really excited. I mean, like I just love this tight end group, and just knowing
Yeah.
that they're kind of trying to, kind of shift Hunter Licky in that same direction. It just makes me excited that they're actually trying different things. I mean, we talk about the offense not being stale, but we're looking for a guy to kind of complement CD, right? We're looking for a push in the run game, right? So
Right.
the past couple of years, we just kind of, not that the offense has been a drag, because of course it's been number one in the league. We know about the passing yards and things like that. But Dak leading the league in passing touchdowns. CD
Right.
leading the league in receptions. But just maybe just see a little bit more creativity. I mean, just for me personally, when I see teams like the Ravens or like the Buffalo Bills, when they send both their tight ends out there,
Oh my God. Yeah.
you don't know who they're going to go to, right? I mean, when Buffalo drafted Kincaid, right? They didn't redshirt him. They didn't say, oh, he's a rookie. When the Lions got Laporta, right? Not saying they have like a
Mhm.
double tight end type thing, but when they got Laporta, they didn't, and they weren't afraid to go to him with the big plays. So I just want to see, and not saying, and we weren't afraid to go to Schoonmaker, right? But it's just unfortunate that he's been dealing with injury. He was kind of coming on slow, but last year we didn't have options like Brevin Spanford. We didn't have options like John.
Like
Oh, we had it, but
Stevens.
he
Yeah.
got an injury. But so late in the season, we didn't have like I mentioned this on my show the other day with Nick Harrison. Shout out to my girl Star in the building as well. On our show.
Salute Star Gazer. Yeah.
I
Appreciate you.
think that hopefully we can get a tight end that can kind of come in and kind of spell Jake Ferguson from a lot of these snaps he's been taking. Of course, we still want him to be tight end one, but I'm just excited that the Cowboys could potentially, like Star mentioned our show the other day, having coming out with two tight end sets. Not number one, not knowing if you're going to go to Ferg or going to Brevin Spanford, who was I tweeted out earlier. He was blocking his ass off today. I mean,
Hell yeah.
actually, I have a clip. Let me see if I can bring this clip.
And while you're doing that, the only thing is what really spoils everything is seeing Schoonmaker get off to a good start.
Facts.
Then he's still a hurt guy. So I
Right.
can't like your best position is your best ability is what they say your best ability is your is
Correct.
availability, right? So
Correct. It
so
don't make sense. I
mhm,
mean, and
mhm,
I feel for him at the same time, but it's also like, man, like the
right.
Cowboys knew he was, older. The Cowboys knew he had injuries coming in, so it's just unfortunate. Number one for him because Star spoke to it in our show the other day that he was getting his confidence up. He went to tight end university. I mean, that in itself, I'm sure was exciting for him to get more
Right.
Dak. To kind of go there with Jake. I mean, Jake being tight end one, I'm sure that made him feel like, hey, this could be mine for the taking. So now it's just for him to be on the sideline again. I'm sure it's like a gut punch for him.
Yes, indeed. So here's the thing. His availability is a liability now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all put that in the chat. His availability is a liability because what
Yeah.
happens ultimately, come on, let's be real. Come on, CC, Cravin Cowboys. Come on, y'all be real with us. Come on. You know he's on this team, right? They're
Yeah.
not gonna cut him. So he can be a hurt guy and somebody else can be busting their chops off and they can get cut
Exactly.
because he's a drafted pick. Whereas I'm sitting here looking at it like Hendershot is fighting for his life.
Bro, oh, and I'm glad you said that because Hendershot had some plays today, and I'm like, bro, like you needed those plays, and he's
Yeah.
collecting those plays like they're infinity stones. I'm like, bro, like I mean, you coming from a little
Mhm.
bit far behind, but and I don't know just how much he could if he can still make the team. But Henderson, like you said, he's fighting for his life, man, and like you said, you hate for him or anybody else on this team to be kind of left out. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to put so much in, they want to put so much in draft capital.
Right. So if I'm Hendershot, I'm going to Bones Fossil, and I'm
Yeah.
telling him, hey, what you need? You need water. You need towels. Hey,
Right.
you need a babysitter. You got babies? Hey, I'll watch them. Whatever you doing on the off season,
Right.
man, I got you. You need coffee because that will be his only shot at this is being able to find a way to get on special teams and being the best friend of the coach there because
Right.
I'm looking at the writing on the wall. I like Spanford. I like his size and what he brings to the table. And every single day, it haven't been a day
Hmm.
that we can say to ourselves that 81 didn't shine, right? Every
Right.
single day, 81 shows us something, give us something. And he high pointing the ball, he nosing the ball, he's in the way of blocking, he catching slants, he's doing his thing.
Hmm.
And we can't say the same to Luke Schoonmaker because his availability is a liability.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's wild, and in this clip right here, you guys can see that Brevin Spanford goes into motion out to the right, and then as soon as the ball is snapped, he sees 72 kind of step up, and it's almost like automatic. Like you just see him kind of pick up and he almost seems like he's kind of off his balance, but he steps up and takes the block. And as you guys can see, I think that's Lance. I think that's Lance rolling out, either Lance or Cooper Rush rolling out.
There's Lance rolling out because he
Okay.
blocked the new guy, Tony, I believe, 72.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay, okay. One of the new guys. Okay, cool. Yeah. So just seeing Brevin just really picked that up, and he was definitely blocking again today when they were taking. I think he was taking reps for the one again. He was like I said, blocking
Mhm.
his tail off. It's just this guy's not afraid to to put that weight on you. You know what I'm saying? That's good to see.
And for more context, that was a third down play, and he was able to get the first down off of this run right here.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, for context. So yeah, if anything, I think that Lance will use his legs when the read and coverage is over with. And look, this is another play. Yeah, right in the basket
Yeah,
right there for number 15. I like that. And he
yeah. It's good to
points
see Zeke back.
on
Yeah,
a wheel route. I like that. That brings in another dynamic of having the ability for these running backs to get upfield. Especially that's a good thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And here we see our, of course, our second round pick, the first guy in the backfield to touch, to tag Zeke for the tackle, and that,
Hmm.
I believe that's a tackle for loss. I mean, he spoke about having to take extra reps. Of course, we know
Hmm.
with Sam Williams going down, but I mean, of course, I'm glad they brought in two more guys to kind of spell him, so they're not putting all that on his shoulders. But I mean, he's more
Correcto.
he's he's welcome it. He's more than welcome to step up as we can see. He's right there in the backfield. That's what I was talking about. Wanting to see from Fahoko. Just wanting to see him.
Hmm.
Break past the line and just have some kind of impact on the play.
Yeah. I mean, Fihoko, the best thing that ever could happen to him would be is the absolute firing of Dan Quinn and getting rid of Aiden Durde because
Right.
think about it. Durde don't really develop linemen. If you really think about it, who developed under him, you can't really name a name. So now you got guys under Jeff, Coach Z. He's going to really make sure that these guys are right, and I can't wait to see how these guys will look like in an actual game. We get a little teaser next week though, because
Yeah.
we get the chance to see them match
Yeah.
up with the Rams. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 and just to kind of kind of close out, like I know we didn't touch on every group, but I mean we hear about the wide receivers, we know about the
Hmm.
guys, the Belvin, we know about Tolbert, Jalen Moreno Cropper, Tyron Billy Johnson, just these guys constantly
Oh my
stacking
goodness.
games.
Yeah.
These guys are really just, and I'm just really excited about that. Like I mean, I think me and Star talked about it on our show the other day about
Hmm.
before we would just have CD, of course more recently Brandon Cooks, but after those two guys, we were desperately searching for guys to be other guys to stretch the field, and we saw Tyron Billy Johnson do it last year with in the Raiders preseason game. But now seeing more of these guys kind of step up, kind of more into their own, but at the same time contributing. We see the catches
Right.
by Cropper, the touchdowns by Jalen Brooks. You know what I'm saying? He's continuing, his good streak, from last camp. So it's just good to see that. We have a little bit more of a little bit more hope in the wide receiver room. Of course, I think we went across. I think all the rest of the rooms. Did we?
Yeah. I can expound a little bit more on the wide receiver situation.
Okay.
You know, Billy, you dropped the pass today, bro.
Yeah.
And that was one of those things whereas don't Reggie Davis me because when Reggie Davis was here, he wore 11. He was the guy that me and my guy Shango, we were like, man, it's Reggie, man. He's taking the top off the defense. He's catching the ball in between the tackles. He's been phenomenal. But
Yeah.
when that preseason game went around, and then when the first real blue and white scrimmage went around,
Yeah.
there was no Reggie Davis. So come on, Billy. Stand
Yeah.
tall with this. We need for you to step up in this preseason game and also next week. So we
Yeah.
will see how he'll bounce back. Here's another guy that's going to make it real hard for everyone. He wears 16. And I think his name is Jalen as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
16 is he's been just as much as Billy been making plays.
Yeah.
16 been cutting up the defense as well,
Yeah.
finding soft spots in the zone, being on the end around, making a vertical
Yeah.
catch and doing everything. Yeah. Hmm.
And he has like I haven't watched him completely, like for last year and this year, but
Yeah.
just in my eyes, he has some sort of speed element because they use him a lot in motion. I noticed that
Yeah.
last season as well. They were sending him in motion a lot, and they're still continuing to do the same thing here in camp. And I'm sure we'll see it like you said, see it in preseason to see what can actually come to fruition. But and I think speaking of him, and kind of bringing up Trey Lance just quickly, I think those are some of the connections we might see in some of these preseason games.
Right.
Trey Lance to Cropper, Trey Lance to Racing McMath,
Big math.
one of
Yeah.
the guys he loved going to. Also, Trey Lance to
Hmm.
Princeton Fant. I actually had a couple of clips where Princeton Fant was, making some plays as well. So I think, some of these guys, although they may not, I mean, I know these guys are shooting for the practice squad, but
Right.
I think it's, we hear a lot of content creators talking about making connections, and even Brandon Cook, shout out to him. I was able to get the picture today, but he talked a lot about these wide receivers getting that connection with Dak. But
Right.
like shout to Star again, like she said in our show the other day, it's about getting that connection with the other quarterbacks because they're the ones that are going to be throwing you the ball. So when you see these connections, Trey Lance to Fant, Trey Lance to Marino Cropper, that kind of gives these guys a little bit more of a leg up in these preseason games because these are the players that these quarterbacks trust in those particular moments. So we see that going to Toper in the moments where it's a scramble play, and you're not, he may not be his first ever look, of course, outside of CD, but we saw in
Right.
Big Ones last season that he went to Tober. So maybe in some of these pressure
Mm.
situations for Lance, he may look to a Racing McMahon because he used to going to him, or he may look to Tyron Billy Johnson because he know that number one, Tyron Billy Johnson is turning up in camp and he can
Yeah.
make and it may make him look better. But at the same time, these guys start to kind of grow that connectivity and that it can kind of manifest itself onto the field.
Yes. They have an old saying, "Love the one you with." Or ride the horse you rode in on.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a better way to say it. And if Racy McMath is not dropping passes that you throw, then feed him.
Yeah.
The same could be for Jalen. The same could be for Tyron Billy Johnson. So, uh, quickly, you've been watching this camp for what going on the second week, right?
Yeah.
So let me put a little pressure on you. How many wide receivers do we take, or do we keep?
Keep
That's difficult, ain't it?
it's tough because I mean my first thought would be five,
All right,
but
so hear me out. List the untouchables. We know that Cooks is an untouchable. Lamb is an untouchable.
right.
Now, those are the two untouchables. I know it's another
Yeah,
untouchable in
yeah.
there,
I'm feeling like
like a Jalen
I'm
Tolbert.
feeling like
Yeah,
Colbert and Brooks at the same time right now are
so
kind of
that's four.
untouchable. I mean, these guys are both putting on great camps, have
Yeah,
both taken a step this year. So and I mean they're both draft picks, so I don't
and
what I mean.
Turpin.
And Turpin, you
That's
know what?
five.
I mean I don't know. I feel like they'll keep Turpin, for for teams. So I figure that won't
It's
counting.
special teams.
Yeah, so I figured
Yeah.
they kind of give him, a little extra room to, maybe keep on, Tyron Billy Johnson or something like that, for
So
number
so so there's 5 wide
five.
receivers.
Yeah, that's my five. That's my five right there. And if they keep six, then Moreno Cropper in my opinion, has earned that sixth spot. If
You
they
think
don't,
that they'll fall on the sword? You think the Cowboys will fall on the sword?
I think so. I mean, these
I'm
guys.
talking
I
about
mean,
for Ryan Flanoy and say, hey,
oh,
we drafted this
you know what?
guy.
I forgot. Yeah,
Ah,
I don't. I mean, I was kind of thinking they might stash him on the IR list somehow, some way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but he's back out there now.
oh well,
Oh wow.
he gonna have
So
to. He gonna have to have a hell of a preseason or something, or because that puts pressure on them. Yeah,
yeah, and
that's
I know what separates what helps Jalen out is that he's special teams guy too. So
Jalen Brooks or Crawford.
no, the Cropper, yeah,
He has been
yeah.
taking. He has been taking. Return reps. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that is right. That is right. So yeah, that
It's
might.
difficult.
Yeah, that might. Yeah, I think actually might help him. So, but yeah, that would be tough. I don't know. I don't. I mean, I think Tyrone said in the church that they may keep six. So I mean, yeah, that those last two spots. I mean,
No, no, the only one spot
Oh,
because
no, one. Yeah, because Tyrone. Because T Billy yeah. There's no one
T
really.
Billy.
Yeah, there's no one really, doing it like him in camp right now. So yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right, right. So they all fight for that one spot. So
yeah,
It's T Billy, it's Jalen, it's Ron Flo,
yeah.
and for a long shot, David Durden. He's the guy that
And
made
he,
it from the third team, second team, and I seen him
yeah,
get first team reps. I
me
seen David get
too.
first team reps too.
Yeah, and return
35.
reps, and return reps. I mean,
He returned. Oh
yeah, yeah.
wow.
You ain't see
Man, I'm glad. I'm glad I don't have to make these decisions, man.
yeah,
It's hard between the wide receiver room and the
yeah,
tight end room. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision.
yeah. He's gonna. Yeah, that threw me off. I think today he was taking. I think Turpin, of course, took some, but he was taking a lot
Yeah,
of the because they were actually. I was actually surprised to see that they were actually practicing the special team run today. So yeah,
right.
Durden, yeah, David Durden, he's been making some catches here and there. I haven't really seen them use him a lot, a lot like that. But I mean,
Yeah,
it's like number one, it's good to see him back from his injury. I mean,
right.
one, it's good to see him back out there. I mean, first of all, for him to be healthy. But second
Yeah.
of all, yeah, like this wide receiver room is definitely stacked. So I don't maybe
He, he
practice
he he
squad,
make you say, when did we get a Jordy Nelson here, man?
right? You know what I'm
Who's that Cooper Cup kid? Where that boy coming
saying?
from? Cause
That's
I was looking
crazy.
through there. I said, wait a minute, where he come from?
Yeah,
At 85, scored a touchdown. He got separation, and I'm talking about it's hard to get finished
yeah,
from. It's hard to get loose, and it's hard to get by Bland, right?
right.
And it's hard to get by number 41.
Yeah, Carson.
So, ooh,
And
yeah,
he's turned up too. For me, finally being able to see him, like he's. I mean, what everyone's been saying is every bit of right. He's physical. He's willing to step up and make that hit. He's
yeah,
willing to, leave his feet to go up with the wide receiver to knock the ball down and take, whatever consequences it takes to come back down to the ground. Like
hmm
he's willing to put his body out there on the line, and and what I liked about him, when he first kind of came into the building is
right,
he wasn't really talking a lot, right? He kind of reminded me of Bland a little bit, where
yeah, yeah, yeah,
is not I don't like saying soft spoken for guys, but just
right,
kind of quiet, really just like kind of let his game kind of speak for him. And I kind of just get those same kind of vibes from Carson because his answers, when being interviewed, were kind of short and sweet.
right,
He didn't really expound on anything, and he's just like, I'm here to play, I'm here to serve, here to prove this, and I'm just here to do my thing. And I just and of course we see his play, being played out on the field. Of course we know it's just training camp,
hmm
but this guy
yeah,
is everywhere. First team, second team, you know what I'm saying, third team. It's just
yeah.
like he's really showing up in a big way.
Showing up in a big way. Like I said, I'm glad we don't have to make these decisions. The Cowboys, as much as it's crazy as it is, right?
Yeah,
The benefit of my guy CeeDee Lamb not being here is more and more reps for these guys, that the ancillary pieces, and they are taking advantages of it. But what will really concrete it will be how we look like against Rams during practice and how we look like the first preseason game. If these guys can just earn their name and their number out there, that would be great to see.
yeah. Yeah, and I can't wait to see. Actually, you know, what I mean, like I say, a week away from the first, about a week or so away from the first preseason game. You know, we have this scrimmage
Right.
coming up later on this week. So, and it'll be good to see these guys go up against other, other guys other than their own
Right.
teammates. Really want to get
Right.
that frustration out. Finally get to playing real football. So, and having the Hall of Fame games the other day just kind of gets me even more excited. For football, seeing the new kickoff rules, seeing
Hmm.
unfortunately it was kind of canceled earlier, but just seeing football up on the screen again just really gets me excited for this team and just for the possible progression of our team this year. But before we get out of here, I guess I'll say, who do you think will be the camp standout? By the end of camp.
Mm, T Billy, right? He can be the camp standout for the offensive side if he don't drop any balls, right?
Yeah,
And on the defensive side, I got my money in the bag for 55. I think that
Harvey.
Willie Harvey, man.
Yeah,
I want to see him get more and more first team reps. He dominated third team, so they said, "Look, man, we can get you up off third team," and he's
right.
been kicking tail on second teams. And when we get a chance to see him in the first team reps, because due to the injury of Eric Kendricks, who got the lower back thing, I
Yeah,
think that he's taking advantages of these opportunities.
yeah,
And if anybody that's going to look comfortable in the first preseason game because he played in the league before, and then he just dominated the wherever he came from, a UFL or something like that.
yeah, yeah. Let the
It
league
will
get
be
them
it will
off.
be 55. It'll be 55. I think I got my money on him as the camp highlighted star for the defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I guess I would say for mine, I would say Tolbert. I'm definitely glad he, took another step, and
Oh yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of a lot of us weren't. I'll just say me. I wasn't really not saying I
Right.
wasn't believing in Tolbert because I mean, just seeing some of the plays he made last year gave me a lot of confidence in him. But just it's one thing for a player to say they're going to step up, they're going to take the next step, but to see him really make leaps and bounds,
Right.
just really just taking it serious, the mental reps, taking and not for me, not just the
Mhm.
game of football, but taking the relationship with Dak serious. Like
Right.
in the beginning, he knew that it was important for him to number one get that close relationship with the quarterback, number one, and then he spent the time with him on that individual trip. He said he has Dak's number. They practice, two or more times a week. Dak says, "Hey, come to the Dak yard, let's practice," and then you just see it, come to fruition on the field. So it's just good to see that he's not only taking the game serious, but he took the relationship with Dak serious and just really kind of put that, kind of in his arsenal a little bit. And really, just in my opinion, kind of use it against the other wide receivers in the room because we don't see a lot of receivers besides, Jalen Brooks kind of spoke to it a little bit, but we don't see a lot of receivers having that close of a relationship with Dak. I even have in one of my clips where last year for the San Fran game, like when Tolbert came out the tunnel, like the first place he went to was Dak. Him and Dak are
Right.
with each other during pregame, so it's just
Yeah.
you
Dak
really see,
Dak banged on the table to
yeah,
get him here. Yeah.
yeah, you really see the closeness between them. And then, like I'll say on the defensive side, I would say Carson so far for me. I mean, we're
Mm.
looking for another guy to step up, in the DB room, and we weren't sure. I mean, we were surprised by Bland, last year, and this, we were wondering if Al Harris, with the new DC coming in, to help him out.
Right.
If we could find another gem, what I'm saying, not just in the draft, but just in general, if we could have another defensive back, while Trey Diggs is coming back from that injury. Side note, it's great to see him back at practice as well. Him and Micah just bring a different energy to practice, and it's definitely great to see them back at practice. But like I was saying, just to have another DB step up at the same time.
Right.
We just weren't sure if we could have another guy on the outside. Like we talked about having a number two for CD to stretch the
Right.
field. Like we need someone opposite of before we had Gilmore, but we need somebody opposite of Diggs who of course before we had Bland, someone that we could just help to stretch the field when we do have that number two receiver going to the other side. So we're just I think number one it's a surprise, and it's also it's a good surprise, and I think that with the continued reps, and then him having him wanting to be in the spotlight, number one, and the willingness to be able to step up and make these hits and be physical. But I think the
Right.
preseason games are going to kind of put that extra battery in his back, and I think we're going to, if possible, see another level coming out of this guy during the preseason games.
No doubt, no doubt. So all of this will work out. And like you said with Carson's, he's one of the highlighted rookies that we can all look back on and say, right,
Yeah.
you're like, wow, continue to do those things.
Yeah.
There was someone else that I wanted to bring up before we wrap
Yeah.
is damn Tyler Guyton. Can you tell me? Can y'all update me on what type
Right.
of sickness he got going on?
Right.
Because
I didn't see him out there today either. That is
yeah,
weird.
yeah, he gives him Pepto Bismol, or what he had too many, he had too much this
Yeah.
and that. You
And
know,
yeah, and it's crazy because they were just talking about him turned up against Micah in camp, and then the next couple of days he's sick. That's unfortunate because I was hoping to see
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We
I was
need to
hoping
get
that
him
next
out
week.
there. I'm tired of. I like Chuma. Chuma doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So the Chuma, the Edogas, don't come
Right.
after me, the Edogas. But what I'm
Right.
saying is that I want the Guytons out there, you know. So shout out to the Edogas though, but
Yeah.
I'm ready for us to see the Guytons. I know what Chuma
Yeah.
can bring to the table, and I
Yeah.
definitely don't want to see him week one. You know, I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
No,
I'm just saying.
absolutely. I mean, it was one thing to see him to see that happen against a team like Miami, but we can't have those mind glitches happen against a team like Cleveland. Like that's
No, no, not week one. Let's get
yeah. Like no, we can't have that.
old folks, they start off on the good foot. We
Yeah,
need to start off on the good foot.
right. We got to start off
Right,
strong, man. We
right.
got we got to start off strong. So, but yeah, all in all, I mean, just wrapping up here. I want to thank Law Nation. Really just one of the goats. In this
I
Cowboys community
appreciate it.
for joining me this evening. Kind of for really an impromptu show, but I really want to get these clips out here and show you guys what I was able to get for the past couple of days. And before we get out of here, I'm sure everyone already, in my chat follows you, Law. But before we get out of here, of course, remind everybody, where they can find you and where they can find you.
If you guys go to my YouTube page at the top, I got Cravin Cowboys channel linked at the top. Do me a huge favor. We try to get her to 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys can follow me and find me over there on that particular page on this episode, under Law Nation Sports, under Cravin Cowboys, that would be a plus for all of us to help grow her particular channel. Let's continue to grind to shine. Follow me on lawnationsports.com as well as Law Nation Sports on Facebook, on Instagram, the X app. I'm everywhere. I'm on TikTok. We don't stop over there. So come on. And shout out to you, Davies. I see you in the chat. He says, see us Monday. Come on out, man. And that's the next practice on Monday. So come on
Yeah,
out and enjoy yourselves with us, man. We're going to be giving you guys the unbelievable coverage and some behind the scene action with these Dallas Cowboys for the 2024 season. Let's get
yeah,
it.
yeah. Okay, appreciate everybody joining us this evening. We'll catch you guys next time. See
Let's
y'all.
go. Peace. I like the jazz you got